but 99% of dinosaurs were imagined in shades of gray. But one small creature held a secret of vibrant color. This is the story of Sinosauropteryx, a pivotal discovery. It was small, feathered, and utterly revolutionary for paleontology. For decades, dinosaurs remained monochromatic sketches in our minds. For Sinosauropteryx presented something entirely new, preserved integument. But these were not scales, but true, complex feathers, albeit primitive. Now that we understand the structure, let's explore the color. A revealing color requires looking beyond the visible spectrum. The key lies in organelles called melanosomes within the feathers. Of these, minuscule structures dictate pigment distribution and pattern. A shape dictates function. Long and thin means black or gray. A rounder, flatter shapes correspond to reddish-brown hues. Our researchers used advanced spectroscopic analysis on the fossil traces. The evidence pointed strongly toward specific melanosome types. This chemical fingerprint allowed the first authentic dinosaur color mapping. What emerged was not dull gray, but a striking countershaded creature. Its underside was pale, while its back displayed dark bands. This pattern, known as countershading, serves a crucial camouflage purpose. Imagine this small theropod navigating the humid, ancient landscape. But the color reconstruction suggests a rufous, or reddish-brown, overall tone. The tail exhibited clear, alternating dark and light stripes. These stripes likely aided in species recognition or mating displays. The principle of camouflage is universal, spanning epochs of life. We must always confirm the feathers were truly primitive structures. Our Sinosauropteryx feathers are distinct from the complex pinnaceous structures later evolved. The melanosomes themselves act as tiny, natural pigment processors. The reconstruction process is a careful balance of evidence and inference. But notice the finer details, perhaps subtle modeling around the face. This wasn't merely preservation, it was a preserved aesthetic statement. The discovery fundamentally proved that dinosaur coloration was diverse. The implications extended far beyond this single, small predator. It opened the door for studying coloration across the entire clade. Future studies map heat absorption based on inferred dark versus light patches. And even the small, non-feathered parts can suggest overall tone. The morphology of the melanosome is the Rosetta Stone here. Understanding its color helps us understand its survival strategy. The countershading would have offered moderate protection in dappled light. The preservation quality of this specific specimen remains scientifically exceptional. 80. The geological context reveals rapid burial necessary for this fidelity. But each trace element speaks volumes about its once-living pigment. Of understanding eumelanin versus pheomelanin chemistry is paramount here. The reconstruction suggests a lack of bright, iridescent structural colors. But this places its appearance closer to ground-dwelling, cryptic birds today. We are actively replacing ancient, speculative artistry with empirical data. For thee, the density and alignment are the true relics we study now. And the Sinosauropteryx became the benchmark for future color investigations. A color also dictated signaling, though Sinosauropteryx favored concealment. We see pigment traces even in areas lacking the long feather structures. But the synthesis of geology, chemistry, and anatomy yields this vibrant picture. This suggests that the Cretaceous world was far from monochrome. Every feather, every trace, informs our evolving understanding of deep time. The original fossil remains the definitive, silent witness to this truth. We look to modern avian cousins to complete the narrative circle. The tools of paleontology are now microscopes and mass spectrometers. But the human curiosity that drives these revelations remains constant. A Sinosauropteryx showed us that color was intrinsic to dinosaur existence. Millions of years separate us, yet the image remains remarkably clear. From dark residue to vibrant life, this creature tells its story. But the age of dinosaurs was not muted, it was beautifully, boldly colored.